everyone, it's Adam and welcome to another review. This time we're going to be reviewing the Libratone TechOutAdam in-ear headphones specifically for iOS devices and anything that just has a lightning port, which is pretty much only going to be your iPad or your iPhone, unless Apple changes anything, who knows. But I got these for two reasons. Number one reason is, are these good active noise canceling headphones, which is the primary reason, the primary functionality of these and what Libratone markets them for. And number two is I wanted to know if they were overall a good headset for even making phone calls, given that what I do for a living, I like to use things that have multiple functionality and really see if, hey, if I'm going to buy this, especially for the price point. Now I paid $80 for these. They were on sale on Amazon at the time, but when I bought them, I said, you know, that's kind of pricey, but there is some pros and cons, so let's get into the video. Now $80 may seem pricey still, but there are some pros that might justify that price, given that it's not that much compared to other competitors, such as even the Bose QC20s, or even Beoplay, I think, has a pair where they operate mainly off needing to charge them, and these ones strictly go off the power of your iPhone, which I'm going to explain later in the review. Now let's go over the sound quality of these. I think the bass is strong. The mids and lows come in really well no matter what genre of music you're listening to, at least the ones I listen to. I listen to everything from rock to hip hop and even classical music, even certain things like binaural beats. I listen to all kinds of stuff when I'm testing this out. And of course, audiobooks, podcasts, things like that, everything comes out crisp. The only time the bass is too strong, and for my liking compared to how I like my sound equalized and everything like that, is if I turn it up really loud. The bass overpowers everything else when it comes to sound quality. And the comfortability of these, the ear tips, as long as they come with plenty of ear tips, so just make sure you actually test every single one out. I really like that it actually comes with the carrying case as well, given that most of these, when you tangle them up in your hand, they can just get untangled in your bag unless you wrap them with a rubber band or find a way to just hold it together still. Since these don't have that with the headphones by themselves, it's nice they come with a carrying case, so you can at least wrap them up, put them in there, and magnetically holds it in place. And that's pretty cool how they did that. Now it's like a faux leather. I don't think it's real leather. It doesn't feel like it. And on the inside, it's more of a nylon material than it is a soft microfiber cloth or anything like that. Now the controls are very easy and intuitive to use. The main button with the square on it automatically goes into low when you plug them in. It goes to low noise canceling mode. When you press it once, it goes to medium. Press it twice. It beeps twice on the third and final one for maximum active noise canceling. But if you press it again, it goes to your ambient aware mode. But the interesting thing about that is I noticed within the app, it has ambient aware. If you press it 4 times to go to that fourth function. But if you select ambient monitoring in the app, which I noticed you could only do in the app, unless you hold it for 2 seconds and then it activates it, it only goes just enough so you can slightly hear your surroundings. Maybe you don't want to cancel out, the podcast or the music that you're listening to. But if you hold it for 2 seconds and activate all the microphones, it shuts off whatever you're listening to, and then you got a stronger awareness of what is going on. It even uses, I believe, the microphone that you would make phone calls with to pick up noise, because you can hear that side tone effect when you do that. But there's one caveat, or one kind of flaw to this, is although the noise that it picks up is strong, whatever you're listening to, it's going to continue on in the background. So whatever you do, if you don't want to lose your spot, just pause your music or pause your audiobook first before you do that, or just know you're going to have to skip back and go back to where you left off. Speaking of microphones and picking up noise, this was the second most important thing to me personally for what I do for a living. I make a lot of calls and whatnot. And so let's get into the microphone test. Check 1, 2, sound test of the Libratone TechOutAdam headphones. I'm not pulling the microphone up to my mouth or anything. This is literally just as it sits when it's in your ears. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. And this is what it would sound like in a coffee shop with really loud ambient noise. Actually even dislocated my headset, or at least took the earbuds off to hear how loud it is, and it's very loud. And now you know what it sounds like in a quiet environment just by itself, and also in a loud coffee shop. Yes, I was actually in a coffee shop So the microphone, in my opinion, is not the best thing about this. This is strictly best for active noise canceling, and that's pretty much it. And with that, what I noticed with the active noise canceling is when I tested them, the coffee shop that I was in upstairs, they had this machine that was playing chirping noises for some reason. I don't know if they wanted it to feel tropical that day. I don't know. It's the first time, but it was good that they had that, which was weird because when I activated the noise canceling, even on a high level, unless I was listening to music pretty loud, the bird chirping, high-pitched noises, the screeching from the steaming of the milk, even though the espresso machine was downstairs, I was able to hear it still come through good enough to where I was like, okay, that's not getting blocked out at all. But I wasn't able to hear, when I had it on maximum level, any noise with wind or like just airflow coming in from the vents or people conversating downstairs, footsteps, just basic doors shutting, anything like that. I just absolutely wasn't able to hear. Now remember, that plays into actually having the right ear tips put in. Now with me choosing these over the QC20s or even the BioPlay, I forget the exact model that they have similar to, active noise canceling earbuds, is that you had to charge those, and I thought that was kind of annoying. And not only that, but the price is more than double. Now I didn't measure how much battery life it takes, but let's just say it was so little that it was basically insignificant, which is quite impressive for the fact these are going to use power. There's multiple different functions you can use for these. So that was a major plus. No equalization settings, no sound EQ at all with these. I mean, I guess it depends on the music streaming service you have. If you have Spotify or Apple, I believe does it too, you can adjust it in there, but by default there's no sound EQ that you can do with these headphones. And before I forget this too, when you're on a call, you don't hear a side tone, you can't hear yourself, so you are going to be speaking louder than normal if you make a phone call, especially if you got active noise canceling on. But if you're somebody that's in sales, you're in real estate, you're making a ton of calls, that's the only flaw you're going to have, is you're better off getting a headset with a boom microphone or something specifically dedicated to making calls specifically as their primary function. Do I think these are worthwhile in keeping? Yes, even though I primarily, always like to see, okay, can I use them overall? That was my main purpose of buying them. Yes, I think they're worth it for the price compared to what else is out there if you have iOS devices and strictly use Apple products. So thanks again. I give this a definite booyah on these ones, and look forward to another review coming. Please like and subscribe if you thought this video was actually helpful. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.